Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back to Cruising with the Carsons. This frozen 6 below zero morning here in Minnesota. Yes, it's been very cold back here, but pretty soon we're going to be hitting the road and heading south to Arizona. We'll take you along for part of that journey. What I want to talk to you about today is, just like the thumbnail said, does Canada hate the United States? Now, I'm mainly speaking about RV'ers and travelers and what's been going on. And between the last 2 days, I stumbled across a bunch of videos while scrolling through YouTube about tariffs and the way Canada feels towards the United States and traveling and all that kind of stuff. And I was seriously blown away. I mean, there's a genuine hatred and disdain. Now, I don't get into politics much, but this all revolves around Trump and tariffs and things going on between the United States and Canada, and President Trump making the comments about making Canada a state, and a couple of remarks, I guess, were thrown about. But what I wanted to show you was what a lot of the Canadian travelers are saying about why they don't want to come to the United States. Now, keep in mind, I've got some good friends that live in Canada that I actually met in Arizona while RVing. I think it was about 3 years ago. So I've been in touch with them and gotten their opinion about this whole thing. But what I want to show you is what I've seen on some of the videos and what those channels are saying and what Canadians are saying back. So let's take a look. Now, you'll see here, I'm putting up a couple thumbnails on some of the channels that I've seen and what they're saying. Now, there were comments on one of my videos about, do locals hate snowbirds? Now, here's just one of the comments that was on my video. Canadian here. Don't worry about snowbirds. We will gladly keep our money or take it to another country. Most American attitudes belong where the sun doesn't shine. Woo! We clog roads, drive poorly, but you take our money without any hesitation. I do not appreciate the humor of this video. Well, I'm sorry that you can't laugh once in a while, because if you watch my channel, my videos, you know I try to add a lot of humor into those. But his wasn't the first comment. I saw several comments that genuinely said they think Americans are snobby, they think that we are stuck up, they think that we're entitled and have attitudes and all that kind of stuff. Now, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I get it. But I say to you, because of your hatred and disdain for one political figure, why would you let that tarnish what you enjoy? If you enjoyed coming into the United States and gathering in Florida or Arizona, and you get to see your friends that you only see once a year, or have your big gatherings with your friends that you bring with you, I don't quite have the ability to wrap my head around, why would you let one person's stand or a political figure get in the way of you making your memories and having your fun, or taking your RV or your winter trip to a U.S. destination? Now, I can liken that to my friends in Minnesota who perhaps couldn't stand Trudeau or anything he stood for, and the things that he had to say, or the things that we had to go through and the hoops that we had to jump through in order to get into Canada to spend our U.S. dollars fishing, or going on a bear hunt, or a white-tailed deer hunt, or whatever it is that you want to do up in Canada. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. I can certainly see both ends of sides of that sword, but I myself, I can't wrap my head around why I would deny myself, my friends, or my family because of how I feel about someone politically. So let's take a look at some of these other responses. Now, on one channel, here's some of the Canadian responses. We are Canadian, and we won't be 51st state ever. We won't forget either. Like you guys said, it probably will take a decade before we travel or trust the United States again. Our democracy, dollars, and sovereignty means everything. Thank you to all the other nations for following our lead. The support is overwhelming. Now, what they mean by that is some of the videos that I watched, the people hosting those channels talked about how they're getting responses from people over in China, Japan, Europe, Germany, all over Europe, Australia, etc., that refuse to travel to the United States. Now, what I did find is it appears that anywhere from 20 to 40% of Canadian travelers are not coming into the U.S. anymore, especially in 2025. So I'm eager to find out when I get south what that's going to look like. Some of the other responses, not just 2025, I'm never going there again. Another one said, I'd rather spend my money here in Canada. My husband and I are planning on keeping put right here in Canada. I think a lot of Canadians take our country for granted. Canada is beautiful. I'd rather do a road trip across Canada instead. Another one said, I'm from the UK, and I will happily join the boycott by deciding not to visit the United States under this dystopian Trumpian regime. I love you, Canadians. Another one said, yep, I won't be going to the USA for a very long time. Some other responses on different videos. Now, the host of this, The Planet D is the name of the channel. Canada didn't start this fight, but we're finishing it with our passports. From the 51st state insult to rising harassment at the border, Canadians have had enough. Where are you traveling this summer instead of the U.S.? Drop your alternative below, and don't forget, elbows up, never 51. Join our paid membership for credits, blah, 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 blah. Canadians are not alone in this. We Europeans canceled trips to the U.S. as well and don't plan on booking any new ones. We also joined BABA. I don't know what, Buy Anything But American. There are better alternatives. It is awesome that a lot of countries are boycotting and pulling back. Trump is a victim of his own selfishness. Man, and there you have it. Even the TDS, or Trump derangement syndrome, affects Canadians and Europeans and Asians and Australians and Germans and wherever else you're from and that you travel. Again, I can't wrap my head around why someone would let one political figure ruin your trip or make it so that you won't put your happiness up front and that your disdain and hatred for someone would come first and foremost. But then again, that's just me. That's how I feel about it. I understand people get passionate and have their beliefs and their things that they want to hold fast to, and so be it. That's what makes this great big world one great big melting pot. So, I find it very interesting. If you are Canadian and watch this channel, if you are from another country and watch this channel, or even, I guess, if you're right here in the U.S., I would love to hear your opinions and comments on that. Again, I certainly am not trying to offend anyone who is from a different country and wants to boycott the United States of America and not travel, not spend your money here. I get it. I've had certain things in my life that are right here in the States where maybe something pissed me off or a manufacturer pissed me off, and I said, I am never going to spend my money on that ever again. So I get it. Like I said, I understand both sides of the coin. So anyway, you guys, thanks for watching. I hope I brought a little bit of insight to what's going on between Canada and America. And maybe just one day, we will all get along. But until then, thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'd love it if you did. It doesn't cost a penny. And we will see you on the next one. Bye.